then you will be a better person. You will be happier. You will find that works better for you. See, my motives are good. It doesn't, on the next page it says, how does that work out? I can't remember the exact words. It doesn't turn out very well. Aloha. Alex here with Aloha Speaks once again. And I was just chuckling again because, and I'm going, it's not so funny. Because it's, the topic is, you got this. And just before I got on camera, I'm not talking about the parentheses yet, but I said to myself, don't worry, you got this. You know about getting on camera, it's just like relentless. Because it's dangerous. I was going, I can't remember now what I was going to put in. I was going to put something different in the parentheses. But I ended up putting, I got this. I got this. See, it's, you got this. And then I put in the parentheses, I got this versus I need help. They're basically opposing. They're completely different perspectives. And, oh, I remember what I was going to put in the parentheses. I was going to put in the voices in my head. And instead, and it's not even voices, I think it's a voice in my head. Because I mean, since I was a kid, I talked to myself in my head. Do I admit that? I don't know. I'm admitting it right now. Because that's what this is about, is that segment 1. I ended up putting it in the first point, the first note. That voice in my head. It doesn't say, I got this. No, it says, you got this. And that's what it said. Well, I'll get to that in the past. That's what it says when I get in trouble. And so that's why I feel like, well, when I get honest, is it in my best interest when I'm doing that admittance and that honesty in the first segment of Malama Aloha Pono? Or I could just not even look at it. That's one option. But then when I realize that also gets me in trouble. So there's danger. I immediately, I didn't plan it that way. I just went to this line in the big book, the Alcoholics Anonymous book, after, on page 60, after the how it works, and it says the ABCs. Okay, I'll go ahead and say what the ABCs are. It's A. We were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B. That probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. C. That God could and would if God were sought. If he were sought, it says, but I say God instead. So, that's the ABCs. Now, right after that, there's this one line that grabs me, and because it goes right away into the third step, which is that we turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understood God. Now, it says, any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. Now, right there, when I was reflecting on that, I go, oh, what is success? To me, because to everybody, it's something different. And it's like, and in fact, at different times in my life, success has meant something different to me, because definitely at one time it meant how much money I have. It doesn't mean that anymore. So for me, it's that peace, the joy, please, please. That's my what I'm looking for, that fulfillment. And then, right after that, so any life run on self-will can hardly get to that place, right? Is what it's saying there. That's in the book. Now, is that true for me? I'm like really attracted that it doesn't work for me, that self-will run riot, which it talks about later. It says right after that, there's a period, on that basis, we are almost always in collision on the basis of self-will, almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though our motives are good. And I'm like, yeah, my motives are definitely good. Because I can see very clearly that as I'm making these suggestions to the people in my life that I love dearly, well, this is what you should do. Do it this way. Can't you see? Then you will be a better person. You will be happier. You will find that works better for you. See, my motives are good. It doesn't, on the next page it says, how does that work out? I can't remember the exact words. It doesn't turn out very well. In this book called A New Pair of Glasses by Chuck C. He was a recovering alcoholic. He wrote this book. I have so many pages and ears and highlights and markers, and I've read it so many times. It's really, really, to me, addresses so many issues, and so well. It wasn't even written. It was a transcript of him talking. On page 111, there's this quote. Either I'm going to run my life and take the consequences thereof, or I'm not going to run it and take the consequences thereof. can only be responsible for my own self. It's about the consequences. That's why it's not about these different segments of Malama Aloha Pono. They're all happening at the same time. It's never leaving one segment for the others. I'm always needing to listen, segment 2. I'm always needing to do these assessments. I have to on a daily basis. It was only within the last 2 weeks, there are 3 different people in my life who are so dear to me in relationships that I was telling them what I thought they needed to do for them to, it caused tension, it caused problems they were so forgiving to me, so tolerant. But that's not the point. They shouldn't have to tolerate. They shouldn't have to. But the thing is that it didn't work for me. What it did in me was not acceptable. Is that the right? It was not good. It wasn't what I am looking for. When I did that last video on, I think it was the last one or soon, on willingness, there was an equivalency toward these words surrender, desperate, and letting go. And I was thinking about this word desperate. It's like, because there can be a resistance to that word. Who wants to be desperate? It's like, I'm okay with it, but what really is desperation to me? And it's really what it is I had a vision. I had a vision of a dry sponge. And that dry sponge wanting to have that water and just soak up the water. And that was more like what it is for me when I wake up in the morning, because I wake up with that desperation, I wake up with that thirst. That it's like when the student is ready, the teacher is there. When, that I got this versus I need help. It's like when I need help, the help is there. Well, when that thirst is there, the quenching, the water is here in abundance. As long as I'm not in that place of, oh, you got this, I got this. Keeps me dry. I can't have that thirst at the same time as my glass is full. How can I have the thirst when my glass is full? That doesn't even... I talk about the arrogance being a very tricky thing. And for me, I relate back to having 10 years of sobriety back in 1994. And that day that I picked up that half a glass of wine on Thanksgiving. And that voice that said, you got this. No problem. You can have just one. Before I went back out for 18 years. And it's not that it is the alcohol. That's but a symptom. as they say, it's with the relationships like I was talking about. It's with everything. It's with the sugar, with the everything. All of it. So my only hope is to, like they say, stay right-sized, is to stay in touch. Stay in touch with reality. There's no you got this. I have that peace in me and stay in touch with that as long as the thirst remains. It's wonderful. Until next time, aloha.
From the Big Island of Hawaii, welcome to Aloha Speaks, home of Malama Aloha Pono by Alexander Noman, offering relief for all relationships with a focus on anger assessment and resolve.
And to close, clicking on the thumbs up icon supports Aloha Speaks, as well as clicking on the free subscribe tab. Mahalo.